The worst assassination attempts.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming on and sitting down because today we're talking about failed assassination attempts. What's the most?
The only failed assassination attempt I know of is the one on Donald Trump. What's like another prominent failed assassination attempt? Oh, I know. Teddy Roosevelt. When they shot Teddy Roosevelt in the chest, but he had a really thick speech he wanted to give, and it was in his pocket. And it shot, and the thick speech stopped the bullet from killing him.
For most people, their deep hatred doesn't
That wasn't a bad assassination attempt, though. It was an honest try.
leave the recesses of their mind. Others, however, are driven to do some pretty wild stuff in the pursuit of revenge. Take the CEO killer, Luigi Mangione. Yes, he's hot. He's super sexy. He's got thick eyebrows. Luigi had so much animosity for the healthcare system that he traveled to Midtown Manhattan in New York City and shot a man to death. Regardless if you think it's justifiable or not, them's the facts.
They're saying he's innocent.
There are some people saying he's innocent. I'll be completely honest, I have no idea.
Oh, no. Now it's definitely him. But in the moment, I remember they were showing the pictures of Luigi to the camera footage of that guy, and they didn't look similar at all.
All I know is this: I didn't lose any sleep over the dude getting shot. Let me just say that, all right? Sorry, I'm crazy. I'm an anarchist. The bullet on the gun read, delay, deny, depose. A play on the phrase delay, deny, defend. A strategy used by private insurance companies to reject insurance claims to people in need in order to save money, which is cold.
It's poetic.
It's good, dude. Honestly, you know what? It should be a part of a insurance CEO guy's job. You might be killed. You're getting paid big bucks. You may be killed, dude. Is that not fair? Is that not fair? Slightly, a little fair, just a little bit.
It's worth it. Worth the.
I don't think that murder is okay, but the point that Luigi was making is what most people are standing on, that why is the CEO of a company that has the highest denial rate out of any insurance company making like genuinely hundreds of millions of dollars? Like, he is turbo rich when people are actually dying because they can't get life-needed surgeries funded.
And I'm not saying death to every rich person. I'm just saying your healthcare guy rejecting people who are like, I'm dying. That doesn't really quite fit into our economic strategy.
I also just don't like insurance companies. Political Joe, gotta get a fucking political warning here. Hold up. I also just don't really like insurance companies. I think that you should just have it like other countries where we are not going through a middleman for things that are required for us to live. Like, I pay taxes for the purpose of the government providing me things. I feel like one of those things they should provide me is, you know, healthcare.
For every successful assassination attempt, there are a ton of failed ones. Way more failed ones than successful ones, okay? Take the recent assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Oh, I know. Oh, Donald Trump in a video. It's played out. I get it. But
you know what's wild is if that was actually 3 inches over, like, history would be different. Our life would be different. And that applies to any butterfly effect thing in general. But if that bullet was like 2 inches to the right, we would be here right now, but I would be doing something else. This would not be the video we are watching.
20-year-old Matthew Crooks was somehow able to sneak his way onto a building with a rifle and shoot at the president, nicked his ear, despite 2 snipers surveying the entire event. Now, does that read like we're a little speculative of this? Of course! How are you gonna miss a giant man like that? We're talking of a football field and a half. That'd be one hell of a shot. He didn't really look like a kid that would be a good shooter either.
What does a kid look like that would be a good shooter?
I guess when I think of like assassination attempt stuff, I always think of like a grizzly man. But it's never a grizzly man. It's always like some like scrawny, even Oswald, whatever, which we all know he didn't really shoot JFK either. Crook failed in his attempt after shooting 8 times. Although he wounded
He shot 8 times? I thought he shot once. He missed 8 times?
and killed members of the audience. Thank God, not the president. He was ultimately taken out by Secret Service. Some of these botched attempts can range from sinister to straight up cartoonish. So today, let's take a look at some of the craziest and weirdest failed assassination attempts of all time. Roll the clip. We can start with a recent story that blew up over social media, where a ramen shop owner placed a bounty on a negative reviewer, which is awesome. To get the political shit out of my face, conspiracy theory stuff, give me the ramen shop owner who's just like, he said, what? What did he say about our noodles? He's like, he didn't like them, boss. What did he say? Go get Tony. We're killing this. A ramen shop in Kyoto, Japan called Honojuro. It's a top-rated restaurant in the area. And unfortunately, that didn't stop two disgruntled customers from giving them a negative review after having a subpar experience. For this highly rated restaurant, this hit to their reputation resulted in some would say, not me personally, some would say,
hit to their reputation. How many reviews do you have to get a massive hit to your reputation like that?
The owner of the restaurant went on Instagram, showed images of their faces, and called out the people responsible before threatening them. In the post, the owner states,
how did he know it was them that gave a bad review? Aren't reviews anonymous? Oh, unless they were very descriptive of their experience. We went to this noodle place on September 21st, 2022, and we were sitting in the back left corner, and they gave us a subpar meal.
and I quote, I saw your post, and you seem a bit weird. We try not to treat people like you as customers, so it's fine. But you should probably avoid eating out someday. Someone like you will get screwed. I don't care. Just come directly, and I'll deal with you. We run a planned business, so if you get in our way, we will get in the way of yours, too.
How do they know it was them?
Well, what I'm wondering is if it's like a Google account.
That's also just like a threat. You can't, as a business owner, return to your customers that gave you a shitty review and go, we'll kill you. If I see you again, I'll murder you.
On their Instagram story, the owner announces that $100,000 yen reward for anyone that can provide personal intel about both reviewers or track them down and take action. To stop this proposed manhunt,
Wait, they were gonna pay people to track these two random guys down for giving a bad review? That is so extra. Oh my God. I always fear that though when I have a bad Uber ride. I told y'all about the Uber driver that I had that was falling asleep at the wheel, and I gave him a 3-star. He was falling asleep at the wheel. He was biting his thumb to stay awake, and I gave him a 3-star for sleepy driving. I wanted to give him a 1, but I was like, dude, if I give him a 1 and don't tip, I feel like he's just going to come and try and kill me. That just scares me with that shit. I don't know. Like, that's the one, and there's always videos, like, I'm always an avid, like, person to say, hey, if you give me an even neutral service, I'm going to give you a good tip, because I understand people in the service industry, you know, are kind of at ends of making money. But in the same sense, if you're driving me home and you're driving over the line and falling asleep and biting yourself to stay awake, I don't think you should be an Uber driver. I don't think you should be driving like a car right now. You haven't slept in 2 days. You should go to bed.
It escalates to further threats. And I quote, the only thing he can do is come back, eat again, and write a good review with the photo. I told him I won't forgive him otherwise. Not even for the safety of his family. Okay, dude. Pause! Come on, man. It's ramen! If he does that, he'll be killed right away. Jesus.
What?
Jesus. This kid is so scared. He'll really do it. So he better just come back and eat. You know how awkward that'd be to pop back in that.
I wouldn't want to go back to that restaurant. I would be scared they would poison me. If you left a bad review at a food restaurant and then they were threatening to murder you unless you came back and ate their food again, I would go, dude, you're just going to kill me when I show up. Why would I ever come within a 10-mile radius of your fucking ramen place?
I like to think when he comes back, too, they're going to do this to him. You really f***ed us on that one, didn't you, buddy?
You ruined our Yelp review. We had a 4-star, now we have a 3.8.
There's no more information released about this story, but the customer likely did not return after being threatened.
You know what would have been crazy is if they ended up review bombing this ramen place into the ground even worse.
The tweet detailing the story received over 36 million views, which did more damage to their reputation than the owner probably expected. That is so great. I love that in the end, him putting out this hit, it was worse than that one single Yelp review. Many assassinations end in failure simply due to minor technical difficulties. A common thing to expect in the heat of the moment. For example, we have the fake construction worker assassination. Recently, a video made the round showcasing an encounter in Toronto that involved a man disguised as a construction worker. The assassin, identifies as a slim-built Asian man, attempted to ambush a 41-year-old woman outside of her home. He acts friendly, but as the woman had her back turned, he pulled out a gun and tried to shoot her. The gun seemed to malfunction, In the confusion, the woman notices what is happening and sprints away from him. In the security footage that was released, we can see the man successfully shoot the woman once in the back. He's like, oh, that's how it works. Here it is. He gives up on going for the kill and sprints away in his car. The woman's injuries were non-life.
In his car, which is on camera, and there's license plates just attached to it. I never understand that mentality. That's why I'm so happy I don't live in the fucking Western times where you literally, like, there was just no way of finding anybody. If you were alive in, like, 1820, you could just go into a business, kill everyone, and walk out. A day later, somebody would stroll in and go, oh my God, everybody's dead. And then contact the local sheriff. And then they'd be like, huh. Well, we've got a bit of a debacle on our hands.
And she has since been released from the hospital. The stories with that always creep me out because it's always just like, what was the angle? Why? Why her? We don't know. We don't know. You know what's fucked up too? The guy didn't even get caught. To be fair, it was recent, so maybe.
Which is why, dude, obviously, I don't want to say obviously. I actually don't know the statistic on this. Are there less serial killers now than there were 40 years ago? I don't know. I wanted to say, though, serial killers now would be nightmares in the 1800s. Holy fuck. Serial killers that are killing tens of people, like 10, 20, 30 people now, could have killed 500 people 100 years ago. Because the steps they take now to not be found, amplified on a scale where there's no tech, no forensics, and there's like, hey, if they didn't see you do the crime, they just have no idea who did it. Those guys would never get caught.
He's probably got to go for it again, right? Can't shoot someone once in the back and then not want to kill him. That'd piss you off, probably.
You gotta get your money.
Who's killing 20 people? Serial killers. How many people did John Wayne Gacy kill? He had like 40 people shoved under his floorboards. 33 young men.
Assassin lifestyle isn't just a young man's game. I disagree. Even senior citizens have tried to snuff out a life to no avail. Like the 93-year-old man who tried to kill his wife so they could die.
Wait, what did that say? Dying man tries to fatally suffocate and strangle his wife of 60 years. That would be like getting hugged by a teddy bear. A 93-year-old man. There's no way a guy that old has grip strength. Why? I truly believe a 93-year-old man could not choke me to death. An old, decrepit man just going, any day now. And I'd just be sitting there like, Grandpa. Grandpa, you're not even like holding my windpipe down. I'm like, are you trying to kill me? Like, I'm not.
A senior Florida man named Helmut
That's fucked to try and kill. Okay, we just glanced past that. It wasn't like he was just trying to commit murder. This was a 93-year-old man trying to strangle and kill his wife that he's been with for 60 years. Just so he could die with her.
Lochner. Oh, dude. Made two.
That's like fucked up.
Attempts to murder his wife in the span of
And that ruins their whole life experience there.
2 weeks. I like how the first time she's like, Helmet. He's like, I know. I'm sorry. I know. I'm being.
Oh, wait. No, he tried to kill her multiple times. He's just like shuffling at her with a knife. She's in much better condition than he is. He's just like. And he's not even sneaking up on her. She's just staring at him. She's like, Helmet, what are you doing? Helmet. Get over here.
According to him, he was worried about leaving her all alone when he died. Romantic. Romeo and Juliet. Hello?
He was worried she was gonna get some
Did they not have like grandkids or anybody that could like help them?
tail.
Oh, dude, he was like, you better not get dick down after I'm dead. This motivated him to sneak behind her while she was watching television and use a rope to strangle her. God, what do you think? Do you like watching Young Sheldon? She's like, yeah, I love the show. Just go to sleep, Helga. Bazinga. Luckily, she was able to wrestle it off of her and call the police. Oh, God, old people are so gross, dude. They're just like dinosaurs walking around.
And that was probably such a fucking struggle. 2 very old 80s and 90-year-olds trying to like fight each other so they don't die.
They're just like weak babies. Oh, so she's probably just Slapped his hand. He's like, my wrist is broken. But according to the dispatch,
Yeah, old people cut easy, dude. Old person bumps their fucking hand on a wall, they just gash their whole hand open.
the man was heard in the background saying, you can die with me. Yeah, helmets having a die with me. The police arrived to find the woman outside in tears, bruised and bleeding from the attack. I was expecting her to just fight him off immediately.
He's the one who's bloody.
I figured that he would be like on the porch like, die with me, you bitch! The man was evaluated at a local hospital before being charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder and booked in jail. His wife...
He's in prison? Do they transfer people that old somewhere else? There's no way they just put a 93-year-old man in prison. Like cell block B, he's just posted up with like genuinely murderers and like high-profile drug dealers. What if he drops the soap? I don't think anybody wants a piece of that. If I'm being honest. He baits it out too. He goes, oh, I've dropped the soap. He's like, I said I dropped the soap. Yeah.
But as you can see, love pushes people to do some particularly unhinged things. Just true. This is similar to our next story where a Tennessee woman hires a hitman to kill his new partner's wife. He's a southern boy with southern charm. Melody Sasser, a 54-year-old woman from Knoxville.
Where do you even go to hire a hitman? Do you just start going to like sketchy places in your city and be like, hey, you want to make $5,000?
Had used Match.com in hopes of meeting a new man. She ended up infatuated with a man that is referred to as DW in court documents, going on a date together. I feel like Match.com's gotta be. These all feel like murder machines, don't they? Christian.
The dark web. Brother. No 50-year-old knows how to navigate the dark web.
She went on a hike with him on the Appalachian Trail, and soon they both became hiking buddies. Later, he moved to Alabama where he became engaged to his current wife, referred to as JW. While it is not clear if there was a mutual, real romantic connection between the two, Sasser was infuriated to discover that he was getting married. She responded, quote, I hope you both fall off a cliff and die. That's sweet. Every one of these things, I'm just like, isn't that just kind of romantic though? She wants to like bludgeon his head and have him fall off into a crevasse. In order to get her revenge, she accessed a dark website known as Online Killers Market. It's not a very...
OnlineKillersMarket.com. WeKillPeopleForMoney.net. Totally real website.
She spent $10,000 in Bitcoin for hitman that could take
$10,000 in Bitcoin.
JW out for good. She told the hitman, quote, it needs to seem random or accidental or plant drugs. Do not want a long investigation. She recently moved in with her new husband. And after 2 months, she was frustrated to find that the job had not been carried out yet. Instead of waiting patiently, she began...
And she gets killed, then what? She thinks he's going to return to her. He's probably just going to find another person to date.
Threatening JW over voicemails using a voice changer. She also traveled to their home to key the new wife's car. She kept reaching out to the hitman, unable to wait any longer, and she told him, quote, I have waited 2 months and 11 days, and the job is not completed. 2 weeks ago, you said it was been worked on and would be done in a week. The job is still not done. Her messages were intercepted by investigators, and she was soon arrested. Her home was searched and revealed a journal listing off other potential hitmen for hire websites she utilized. She accepted a plea deal for 100 months in prison, on top of restitution.
100 months in prison? What is that, like 8 years?
Cost of over $5,000. I think that she should at least have to pay the $10,000 to Bitcoin to them. Which Melody Sasser isn't the first woman to get impatient waiting on her assassin to complete the job. So let's talk about Mary Ellen Samuels, the Green Widow. Mary Ellen Samuels was married to a talented camera operator known as Robert Samuels, who had worked on big films like Lethal Weapon. I know. Everyone's like, oh, I feel like a lot of people won't even know what the Lethal Weapon is now. It's like such an 80s meme. They met each other at their high school reunion, which is also very romantic. Two loves kindling over time, which together they lived a great life. Mary's husband was wealthy and took good care of her, and Nicole, their adopted child. This is Nicole. It's not really Nicole. Over time, however, the relationship took a tumble, and by 1987, they got a divorce. Oh, so dude, he was like, this movie's gonna be huge. But I can't get off the Lethal Weapon saying she made claims that Samuels was abusive to her and Nicole, and soon after, Mary openly talked about wanting Samuels to be killed, approaching many people with a plan to take him out. A hitman was hired, but not a reliable one. On 3 of the 4 occasions.
Well, dude, because you're never gonna find a reliable guy to kill people, unless you work in the government and you're a part of the FBI or some sort of insider business. Like, you're not going to get a John Wick. You're gonna get a random guy that you're gonna offer $2,000 that probably has a drug problem. That's like, yeah, I'll kill somebody for money. You have to be in a mental state to be ready to kill people for pay, right? Being a hitman's not something that's like a prideful job for most people. Like her, she's not gonna be able to pay this guy $100,000. I would presume average hitman, it probably costs like $2-3 grand. And that's, bottom of the barrel.
It was becoming well known that she wanted her husband dead because she wouldn't shut up about it amongst her peers. At one point, she even asked one of her Hollywood friends for a loan to pay for another hitman. And eventually, she did hire a new hitman who carried out the job with ease. Robert was confronted inside his home in Sepulveda, where he was shot in the head by a 16-gauge shotgun. Not even 12 gauges, 16. We need 4 extra gauges. The police saw Mary as a grieving wife. That all changed when they realized she had collected $500,000 from the insurance. She had passed a polygraph test, so they cut her the check. The money was immediately used to purchase lavish items, like a $50,000 Porsche.
Passed a polygraph test, but all of her friends are going, didn't you just ask us for money to kill your husband? Didn't you literally just... He's dead now, and he got shot in the head by a random guy that disappeared.
And a condo in Cancun for $130,000. In a particularly idiotic display, she had even broken $20,000 into stacks of bills and photographed herself covered in money on vacation. Honestly, that's kind of awesome. I like how all her friends are like, she definitely killed her wife, whatever. She's like, it's the 80s. There's no repercussions ever. The investigation revealed that the hitman was a man named Jim Bernstein, who had a casual relationship with Mary's daughter. Nicole claimed that her father had sexually assaulted her, which pushed Jim to carry out the act. It's kind of fucked up too. You're the person for my daughter, right? Yeah, I'm Jim. Okay, great. I should kill her dad. I like how it's just like one simple story. He's just like, that motherfucker's dead. If he's really in love with her, he's like, what? Get somebody emotionally riled up. Even though what's kind of weird is there at one point she definitely had to tell him, like, I wish he was dead. I tried to kill him multiple times, and to not be like, it seems a bit odd, right? Why don't you just divorce him?
She wants all the pie inside.
I want the whole enchilada. Police searched for Bernstein, and he was found dead along a trail in Ventura County, California, due to strangulation. And as the
Okay, I've been pondering about this whole Dexter thing. My friend comes to me and he tells me he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, and he kills people that kill people. My immediate response is bullshit. While we've been watching this, I've been pondering this in my head. My immediate response is cap. If he proves it to me, then I'm going to go, okay, well, I wish he never told me this. But then, I don't know. I'd be a little bit scared of him. Would I still be his friend? I don't know. I think he's doing an immoral action, but it's like utilitarian because he's killing people that kill people, but it's still bad to kill people. So I would be like, I don't know. That's a very hard situation. I feel like that's a gut moment. You figure it out, That's actually one of those hypotheticals where there's actually no answer until you're in the scenario where your friend comes to you and goes, I'm a serial killer.
Investigation continued. It discovered that Mary was behind the murder, as she not only wanted the insurance money, but also the Subway franchise Robert purchased that she had been managing. I also want the cold cut combo kingdom. I want it all, goddammit. Mary used their Subway shop to pay Bernstein for the murder, as well as a $6,000 to another pair of hitmen to kill Bernstein over fears of him talking. Both hitmen pled guilty in exchange for testifying against Mary, receiving 15 years to life. Mary Ellen was sentenced to life in prison. Which, to be fair, at least she got to do the cash thing. She got away with a lot of it there for a bit. It's funny, she kills Jim to stop them from talking. But then the two guys are like, I'm sorry, man. Killed a guy for money. But as you can imagine, people in the public eye are much more susceptible to assassination attempts. For example, two men once planned to kill and castrate Justin Bieber.
Castration? They wanted to cut his nuts off? Why?
I feel like you could probably leave out the castration. I'm not saying to kill. I'm just saying if you're going to do one of those things, you just put a bolt in his head. I'm just saying castration, bit of overkill. All right? What are we doing here? Are you trying to send a message? Because God, I hope not. In 2012, a man named Dana Martin had become obsessed with Justin Bieber. Kind of makes me think he's collecting it then. Castration? If he's obsessed with Justin Bieber, got his balls in like
a serial killer trophy.
Mason jar. Like it's Newton's cradle, but it's just 12-year-old Justin Bieber's balls. He was obsessed to the point of having a tattoo of him on his leg. A 12-year-old pops.
Dude, and imagine the tattoo artist that's getting that commissioned. I want a full thigh tat of Justin Bieber's face. I mean, if you're a tattoo artist, you'd still probably do it. You'd probably charge the hell out of him, though. I'd be like, yeah, that's going to be $3,000.
After sending him countless letters not getting a response, he became infuriated and decided to seek revenge. I've written you several times. I need your balls. There was only one problem. He was already in prison, serving a life sentence for the brutal killing of a 15-year-old girl a decade prior. Because of this, he enlisted a former inmate friend as well as his nephew to help kidnap and castrate and murder Bieber alongside his bodyguard. Apparently, the two of them were already amidst a plot to castrate and kill two completely unrelated people. What's up with all the castration?
Wait, so they were already doing this to other people outside of Justin Bieber that weren't famous? And he was in jail for that?
She's like, we need balls, gentlemen. Many, many balls. I don't think they're bronze. They're just like fleshy. They're like... But they agreed to travel to Bieber's New York City concert after they were done with that. In phone calls between them, it was decided that handheld hedge clippers would be used to castrate their victims.
No, like the way I like, dude, the way I work is I like to know as little as possible. We went and we bought some, those hedge clippers. So they were going to kidnap Justin Bieber and hedge clip his nuts off and then shoot him.
With Martin offering $2,500 per testicle. I feel like he'd be like, I'll give you $5,000 for
$2,500 per testicle. What are you gonna lose one?
So you gotta bring me both if you want the full thing. The plan was underway, but met an immediate halt when the uncle and nephew missed a turn and actually ran into the Canadian border. The uncle was arrested due to an outstanding warrant, and the nephew was released only to admit to the police what they were planning to do. Definitely the nephew was like, I never wanted to castrate people, and my uncle said he was going to castrate me if I didn't help castrate them. In the end, all 4 targets were unscathed, and the men involved were all caught conspiring to commit murder. While some assassination plots involve catching a victim when they least suspect it, others decide
castrate them too, dude. What the fuck is the point in that? What the fuck is the point in that? And then are they castrating him when he's dead or alive?
to make a big show out of the act. And a good example would be the attempted murder of Dave Chappelle. So many stars.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why people are mad at Dave Chappelle. You may remember the story from 2022 where comedian Dave Chappelle was attacked in the middle of a comedy show at the Hollywood Bowl. A 23-year-old named Isaiah Lee rushed the stage and tackled Chappelle wielding a pistol with a blade attached to the end of it, although he did not use it during the assault. Such a weird image.
How did they get that through security?
Well, that's what I'm saying too. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they don't have metal detectors.
He's like, it's all 3D printed. His reasoning for doing it was supposedly due to his dislike of the comedian's jokes against the
I identify as bisexual, and I wanted him to know what he said was triggering. So you were going to murder him? I get people being upset, but going, now I'm going to bum rush him and try and stab him.
Do you think bad about the LGBTQ or homeless? I feel like I've said some stuff about the homeless. LGBTQ. You guys rule. Don't tackle me with a gun with a knife, please. Thank you. The man failed to take out Dave Chappelle, and security guards soon swarmed him and began punching and kicking him. The comedian went right back to his act. Lee was jailed on charges of
He just kept going?
battery, possessing a deadly weapon with the intent of assault, and 2 counts related to the interfering with a public event. They're like, buddy, seriously, it's the Hollywood Bowl. Take it
That's crazy to not end the show after that, being like, that guy had a gun.
outside if you're going to do it there. It's a classy place. But not only that, but he was later charged with attempted murder based on the incident prior to this one. It turns out that the 23-year-old stabbed his transitional housing roommate during an argument, a crime that came to light with the help from the publicity gained from the Chappelle assassination attempt. I'll tell you what, that's what I'm saying. What did I say earlier? I said, once you try it, you got to do it until you're successful. It's the catch-22 because then when you finally successfully do it, you're just like living La Vida Loca. Like, I'm going to do it again.
That's what you say. You said once you get away with it.
Okay, that's what everyone says. That's what everyone says. I was just voicing the public outcry of what people say. And let me tell you something. This next one is something near and dear to my heart as a metalhead fan. This is quite the tale. There's crazy individuals that tried to assassinate celebrities, but how about when celebrities are behind the murder plot? We could talk about Tim Lambesis, metalcore singer that tried to get his wife killed. It was discovered in 2013 that Tim Lambesis, the singer of the band As Lay Dying, had hired a hitman to kill his recently divorced wife, Megan Lambesis. While they co-parented their 3 adopted children, Megan began to feel that Tim was becoming distant and failing to properly care for them. So she noted that he had, at one point, become...
Okay, I don't want to say that I think it would be easier to kill someone than hire somebody to kill someone, but wouldn't there be an obvious paper trail? Yeah, you have an alibi and you're not at the scene of the crime, but you're contacting someone and giving them money to murder someone. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe on a moral level too, you don't want to be the one that stabs or kills them, but even then, I feel like it'd just be easier. You got a burner phone, then they're going to go, why do you have, we saw you bought a burner phone from a Verizon store. Why'd you do that?
As things got worse, they began private mediation to determine the custody of the children. And as the divorce got messy, Tim feared he would lose over half of his income. Oh, my ass lay dying.
Don't get married if you're worried about that. People always be saying, oh, you got to sign a prenup. And I understand the idea of that, but at the same time, if you are deathly terrified of losing half of your wealth, just never get married. Prenups are proof you don't have trust. No, I think prenups are still just a safety net. I don't have anything against people that want to sign prenups because it is an insurance-based scenario where if that person tries to fuck you over right after marriage, they don't get anything. But once you get married, most prenups are for assets pre-marriage. Once you're married, anything obtained afterwards is usually considered one and the same, and that you would usually get split. Depends on the prenup that you're signing and the rules that are set in place. Yeah, most prenups don't usually cover, to my knowledge. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but most prenups I've heard of are protecting pre-marriage assets.
Because of this, he reached out to a personal trainer at his gym about helping him find someone to kill his wife. Hey man, you coming in today? Yeah, I'm gonna get my pump in. Hey, do you know anybody who can kill my wife? Sure do. Yes, sir. Yes, I do. The trainer pretended to find the perfect man for the job, but secretly tipped off the police instead. Hey man,
He just went to his personal trainer about killing his wife. What the fuck? Honestly, that is the best play, to just be like friendly about it. Like, oh yeah, sure, man.
look like a freak. Thanks, Tim. Do you know anybody who can kill my wife? Yeah, man, definitely. If there's a guy gonna kill his wife soon, you know, like, what the fuck was he thinking? An undercover cop met with Tim, pretending to be the hitman. He received $1,000 for expenses on top of his wife's address. $1,000, Tim? And what, just think?
$1,000 to kill someone. That's not even a reasonable amount. That's obviously you falling for a narc. Unless they look like a crackhead that like needs the money that bad.
I mean, he's like, listen, dude, Megan's gonna take half. If you complete it, I'll give you more. On top of his wife's address, gate codes, and pictures, the murder was planned to happen while the kids were with him. The job would pay out an additional $20,000 upon completion. All right, well, fucking, maybe someone should kill me, dude. Tim Lambesis was soon arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison after pleading guilty. He was released on parole in 2016. After his release, they let Tim join back in As Lay Dying because then they made this big sappy video. It's pretty funny. They're like, people make mistakes and we change and we grow. And then
does the wife have a restraining order on him? Like, that would be terrifying for him to actually be going through with the whole process of trying to kill his wife.
And immediately afterwards, they all left because they're just like, no, we can't. We can't be with this guy. Tim Lambesis became the sole member of As Lay Dying, but still claims that the band will continue. Although throughout history, people have attempted to assassinate high-profile people in power, one of the most cartoonishly ridiculous cases revolves around the CIA's many failed assassination attempts of Fidel Castro. How could they possibly be so bad at it? Isn't that kind of their
Didn't they actually end up assassinating him? Who was it Saddam Hussein or Fidel Castro? I think it was Saddam Hussein. Did the U.S. kill Saddam Hussein? Oh, no. Was it Saddam? I don't know. There's pictures of it.
He's a slippery little fish.
He was Slippery Castro, is what we called him. Fidel Castro was a communist leader in Cuba that the CIA actively tried to assassinate for many, many years. Some of these methods included poison cigars, because Fidel Castro loved his cigars, all right? So soon after he came into power, the CIA spiked them with a deadly botulinum toxin. They were delivered, but nothing came of it, suggesting that they were either lost or disposed of. They even poisoned his ice cream. Fidel Castro was also obsessed with ice cream, eating it almost daily. Good man. All right, if you're in power and you're not eating ice cream every day, are you really living? The CIA decided to poison one of the desserts by giving it to an assassin working at one of his favorite cafes. And unfortunately for them, the poison that was stashed in the freezer became frozen stuck, eventually spilling all over the floor during their efforts to dislodge it. It's like a Three Stooges sketch.
Yeah, this actually does not sound like the U.S. government trying to kill someone. This sounds like a fucking movie plot. Or like Breaking Bad, but it's not Walter White, it's Jesse. Just trying to fucking kill people and just failing miserably every time, and Walter just returning and going, "You fucking idiot! What did I teach you? You have to put the pill in the ice cream before it goes into the freezer."
The seashell trap, as Castro was known to scuba dive, a plan was concocted to rig underwater seashells with explosives that would detonate when he picked up the shells to inspect them. As it was impossible to rig strong explosives to small shells, this plan was abandoned as well. And lastly, the fake Antichrist plan. The CIA thought that they would convince the Cubans, who were primarily Catholic, to believe Castro was the Antichrist. By doing this alongside faking the Second second coming of Jesus Christ, they thought it would be possible to push Cubans to overthrow and kill him. To fake the second coming, they aimed to have an American submarine shoot off star shells over the Cuban horizon. The plan was never enacted. Despite this info coming from direct CIA agents' testimony, the man who concocted this scheme denied its existence. He said that never happened. And lastly, we have a particularly unique assassination plot involving a mobster and a camera gun. In 1946, we're going back, boys. A 19-year-old woman named Pearl Lusk was tricked into murdering a man who she had never met. It all started when a gangster named Alfonsi Rocco.
Alfonsi.
Is that not the most
Very Italian, man.
stereotypical mobster name I've ever heard?
My name's Alfonsi Rocco.
Alfonsi Rocco approached her, pretending to be a detective.
I'm a detective. Okay.
He convinced her that he actually needed her to help solving an important case. He needed her to snap a picture of a person that was suspected of being a thief. I need you to take a picture of a guy. Okay, it's 1946. Oh, sure. That's what life's like back then. The target's name was Olga Trapini Rocco. Rather than a thief, this woman was actually Alfonso's ex-wife, who he feared would go to the police to receive protection from him after he repeatedly assaulted her and sent multiple death threats. He's like, why would you do that? Come on! You're being crazy! Pearl was willing to help, so he handed her a gun, crudely wrapped up like a present. He told her it was an X-ray camera. After identifying Olga at her place, he told her to get close to her and take a picture to see if she had stolen jewels on her person. She caught up to Olga in the subway, took her photo, and ended up shooting her in the leg. She survived the attack, but later lost the leg because, once again, it's 1946. Alphonse was outed for the plot and was chased by the police until he was eventually shot to death in a shootout. Pearl was so naive about the whole ordeal that she told the cops, I took the picture and at the same time, somebody shot her. As it turned...
She fucking thought that she didn't realize that there's no recoil in the gun. What the fuck? She took the picture and went, boom. Oh! Who did that? Just fucking standing there in awe.
Turns out assassination attempts happen quite a bit, almost all the time. You just don't hear about them because people have no idea what they're doing and end up failing miserably. Even murder plots orchestrated by the CIA are downright cartoonish, and we only scratch the surface of how many weird attempts they've made to take people out. So what I'll say is this: stay safe out there because you never know what the people around you may be plotting.
Yeah, you never know if the CIA is going to shoot you with a heart attack gun at any moment. I love that video. W Papa Meat. Anyways.